And welcome to Blue Jays Today, where today, folks, we gotta talk about this past series with the Toronto Blue Jays, and they welcomed in the Detroit Tigers. We gotta talk about Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, especially Game 3, because tonight was pretty disappointing, to say the least. But, at the end of the day, we do get a series win, and we gotta get series wins against teams like the Tigers. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlock. And yes, guys, even though the results aren't necessarily what we were all hoping for walking in today, there are still a lot of positives to be taken away from not only this game, but this entire freaking series. Narratives that we have to talk about with these Blue Jays, especially with the upcoming series against the Rays. And then that really tough week after that, Houston and New York.
God.
A lot of good teams coming, so tons of stuff to get into. Let's just start off and go back to Game 1 of this whole thing. Home opener at the Rogers Center. I was there. The Rogers Center is absolutely elite. I promise you guys, you have to go check it out if you haven't already been there. And this was the beginning of the Blue Jays comeback story. You know, it's like we won this one in a big comeback W, and then we won the next one in a big comeback W. We didn't quite finish it off.
No, we wanted to do 3 in a row. It didn't work.
We did. Definitely didn't want to do that. But some positives and some negatives to be taken away from this game. Speak on them, Adam.
Yeah, let's start with the negative. I like bad news first, good news after. That's how I roll. Bad news here was Manoah. We talked about it in one of our podcasts, actually came out today, I believe.
Yeah.
How Manoah just doesn't look like he's got his big elite stuff. However, he did end up going 5 innings, 3 unruns. So, if that's your worst, you'll take it. But I expect better things in the future for Alek Manoah. But the positives here, folks, is what you're talking about. The Blue Jays' resilience, the bats. Even though we were down 3-0, and I mean, you even said it because you were watching the game live, you really didn't feel like there was any give up or that we were ever behind.
No.
You saw a beautiful 5th inning there where you got Kevin Kiermaier hitting a solo homer and then George Springer hitting a solo homer. From that point on, it was Blue Jays all the way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man, and I was not even worried in the slightest. To speak on the Manoah thing, I think the one thing that you can talk about there, and you can definitely extrapolate, is I don't like the fact that it was walks. Because
a lot of walks.
Usually when when he gets blown up, in the few and far between times that it does happen, it's, they're hitting off of him. He's still getting it in the zone, he's still fine, he's still locating his pitches, but they're hitting him. They're getting the bombs. They're hitting him deep. No, he was walking them. He was giving up free passes. It was very much kind of like a Kikuchi blow-up outing from last year. That's what we would see from Kikuchi, where it's like he's giving them free passes and then they're smacking them home. So I don't love that aspect of things. I do obviously really not have any long-term concerns with him at all, though.
Well, it's a command issue, and obviously when you see here 1 strikeout per walk, it's not really encouraging to say the least, but again, I think it's going to be fine. The important story here is that the Blue Jays, they only gave up 3 runs. So at the end of the day, the bullpen shut it down.
Yeah.
And then the Blue Jays bats came and they dominated, especially Alejandro Kirk, who hit his first home run in the last few innings there in the 8th.
Totally agree, and I love that right now, anyways, in the early goings of this season, we're not talking about the bullpen, because the bullpen is frankly a very thankless, very unforgiving position to be in. You don't talk about them when they're good. You kind of just forget about them. It's like kickers in football. It's like when they're good, you don't even really notice it. It's like, oh, yeah, it's whatever. But when they're bad, you're talking about it when they're bad.
See, when it's the Toronto Blue Jays, I notice it when they're good, because it's been so bad for so long, and I've truly noticed it's been good. It hasn't been great. I think we were ranked before this game 9th in baseball in the first few weeks, so I noticed it immediately. Oh, my God, we have a top 10 bullpen.
It's positive. It's actually helping us win games, so that's good there, and obviously the massive offensive explosion late in the game there to win 9-3. So that was awesome. Moving on to the next game, you didn't see as much offense, but you saw fight to the bitter end.
Yeah, you did.
Literally a 4-3 W, 2 of the 4 runs for the Blue Jays coming in the 9th inning in the final hours. Everyone contributing, doing their role to get it across. And then you had it, because who was in the 10th? It was
George Springer.
It was right, yeah. George Springer coming in the 10th and doing it. And it was Romano that came in and shut them down in the 10th, is that right?
Yeah, I believe. No, he got the W. He came in the No, he would have came in the 10th.
I think it was the 10th. Yeah, it was the 10th. So, again, shout out to Romano, because he had a bounce-back outing from when he got blown up on, I think it was Sunday. So, like, he, obviously Romano is very, very elite. I expect him to bounce back when he bounces back. But this was just an amazing overall team performance, I thought.
Yeah.
You're going to have low-scoring games. You're not always going to score, 20 freaking runs or however many the runs are going to score. But you got great stuff from Kevin Gausman. You had great resilience. And then the bullpen was able to shut it down.
I mean, that's all I was looking at right there. Is like, I mean, you barely pitched the bullpen in this game with Mesa Romano. It was literally Gausman for 8 innings. You know, that's incredible work. 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. 3 earned runs over 8 innings. That's incredible. And I think the conversation is starting to shift just a little bit. We talk about aces. Like literally Gausman could be at the end of the day the Blue Jays' best pitcher come September. He could be getting the ball game 1 in a playoff series if he keeps this up, because that's the guy I want to put on the mound.
Right.
If you're going 8 innings, 11 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, I'll take that every day.
100%,
Amazing.
dude. I mean, like, he has been absolutely phenomenal so far. And somebody brought up a great statistic looking at FIP. And, FIP, I like FIP. I do. But I always prioritize what you're actually doing on the field. However, last year, Kevin Gausman's FIP was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And now it is reflecting what he is doing on the field. Like, those expected numbers, usually you'll see the other shoe drop. If they're really good one year, the other shoe will drop eventually, right? They're going to come around. It's an average thing. So I'm hoping that FIP is telling us that Kevin Gausman has found something incredible over here with Toronto and Pete Walker, and that this is going to continue. I saw a lot of people predicting that he could be in the Cy Young conversation. With what he's done so far. Absolutely.
Dude, look at Alcantara. He had so many innings thrown last year. He's already leading the league in innings thrown in batters faced. So, like, he could be well on his way to over 200 innings. Like, last year, 174. Like, you saw a lot of situations where, he would go 6, he'd go 7, he'd go 5, but he just couldn't get over the hump. I mean, there was moments where the games were always tied, or, like, he'd let up a couple runs, and he wasn't getting run support. Then they pull him out of the game. But I mean, if we can give him anything this year, that'd be great. I mean, we again didn't have any run support from up until he was removed from the game. So it's unfortunate. I don't know why. Why does this keep happening, bro?
No idea.
But Kevin Gausman, that's a big takeaway in game 2 there.
Yeah, 100%, man. And then we move on to game 3. And as you guys can see from the title, the Blue Jays bats almost steal the series. Now, they stole it in games 1 and 2. And here, we put the word almost because they had so many opportunities.
There was a lot.
There was so many opportunities where it was like they almost could have stolen this thing, right? They kept getting runners on base in scoring position, and then they couldn't quite come up clutch. And I'm seeing somebody comment in here right now saying, if Matt Chapman didn't get sick tonight, we would have won.
Oh, yeah,
and
maybe.
Honestly, maybe, bro, because, like, he has been Matty ice so far, ice in the veins. If there's a runner in scoring position, he just gets them home no matter what, dude. He wills them home. But it's a little bit of a sour note that we couldn't quite finish it off,
I didn't really know why we couldn't quite finish it tonight either. I mean, there's this one at-bat that really sticks in my mind where it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He was up to the dish with nobody out and 2 on. It was Bichette and Springer got on, and he got a hanging curveball, and he just pops it up.
Yeah.
This was the night where, like, we just weren't getting our pitches. We weren't getting the pitches. We were getting the pitches to hit, but then we just weren't hitting.
Yeah.
And so that's what I chalk it up as. I believe at one point we were 1 and 12. I don't know what the final was with the average with runners scoring position, but we were 1 for 12, and it was a Vladdy RBI single that got it.
Varsho left 5 people on base.
There you go.
Look
at all that.
5 people on base, 4 for Kirk, right? It's like everyone was leaving people on base.
Biggio left 3, and someone in the comments said, "Can we please talk about Biggio?" I mean, he did get 1 hit today. He did strike out a couple times. I mean, I think what he wants to talk about more is why do we keep playing Biggio to start? I mean, tonight was a reason, like, the Chapman's sick, right?
Yes,
and then you want to give Kiermaier a day off, so,
I mean, I've always been of the mindset, even though Espinal's off to a slow start, I do believe that, you start your all-stars, man. Like, this guy was literally an all-star. He showed more than Biggio that he's got that potential, with the defense and with the bat even. And I would argue that he's off to a slow start because he hasn't been getting that consistent playing time, because he doesn't have a spot in the lineup, because he doesn't have a position. He was at third base today. He doesn't do that anymore. He hasn't played third base in over a season.
There was I don't know if you saw it, but there was a rundown situation where it was hit to Espinal. He touches third for the force, and then he throws it quickly home before the batter's even, like, a quarter of the way there. So
Could've
I was like, okay, well, I'll just go back then.
Yes.
You know?
Could have been able to get 2 and ended up not being able to there. So I mean that just goes to show like
he's not used to that.
He's not used to it. I know that he can play defense well if he was accustomed to that position. I don't know why we keep going down the Biggio train. I guess they just really want that experiment to work. They really want that experiment to work. I've kind of distanced myself from it. I think that I'm off of that train. If he wants to be good, please do it. I will always support Toronto Blue Jays players, and I like Kevin Biggio as a person. I'm just not kind of believing in the talent anymore.
It's not there, man. It's not there for me. I mean, granted, there was a horrible call on him today, a few horrible calls on him. But that's the thing. Like, I've seen that so many times in Biggio when there's an ump with a wide strike zone, he won't adjust.
He falls apart, man.
He doesn't swing at borderline pitches, so whenever they do get called strikes, like, you're kind of toast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about one more thing about this game. Maybe we'll talk about a few more things, but he's in the title. I want to talk about him. It's Chris Bassitt.
Yeah, baby.
Don't let this ERA fool you right here. He had another great outing of 6 innings and only 2 earned runs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, since coming off of that game in St. Louis where he had 3 1/3 and 9 earned runs.
9 earned runs is a special task, man. It's hard to get 9 earned runs in a game.
But this is what we paid $20 million a year for.
Couldn't
It's
agree more.
consistency. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Like, if he did that every day, that's a 3 ERA. And guess what he's been doing the last 3 years? A 3 ERA.
Yes.
So this is what we got, and I think he's back. He's figured out the pitch comm issues. He looks more confident calling his pitches. You could tell with the body language on the mound today. So shout out to Chris Bassitt. He's here. This is what we got.
Couldn't agree more, man. I'm very happy with what we paid for in the last 2 starts. This is exactly what I expected. Both games that you gave your team a chance to win.
Yes.
You gave us an opportunity to win. If you did that every single time, we win the World Series. If every pitcher did that, we win the World Series, because
baby.
you're giving us an opportunity to win with our above average top 5 arguably offense that we have. So
it is top 5.
It is top 5.
Yeah.
It is top 5, man. So like I'm absolutely very happy with Chris Bassitt with what he's doing. That ERA is inflated from the first start. It's going to continue to go down. It sucks that the offense was not capable of putting together something, scoring a few runs to get him the W there, because he does deserve it.
Right.
But those statistics in the last 2 starts, very worthy of our 3rd pitcher in the rotation, in my opinion.
100%. And again, to final cap off the series, it is unfortunate, like you're saying, we didn't get the W today. But like I said earlier, look, we beat the Tigers. I know we're predicting a sweep in our Blue Jays Today show. I was predicting a sweep all week. We didn't get it.
We were 1 big hit away.
We were 1 big hit away. There was literally a Vladdy homer in that one outing. And that curveball, it's hung. It's in the seats. We're winning.
Yeah.
Then we're done. So now we leave that in the past. We forget about it. We got the W's. Let's move on, because we got a big series coming up. I mean, y'all know it. It's the Tampa Bay Rays, the undefeated Tampa Bay Rays. 3 games, and we're not having our good best pitchers. We broke this down in the Blue Jays Today show. Any sort of new predictions that you have now that you've seen the Tampa Bay Rays continue to roll over the Jays, or what about the Blue Jays taking some from the Tigers? What are your thoughts?
It's going to be tough, man. I got a video coming out tomorrow talking about it, kind of breaking down this series, and also, what the Blue Jays might need to do and what the Tampa Bay Rays, what they've been doing. But doing the research for that video, looking into this team, I hate Tampa Bay. I hate Tampa Bay. They are my least favorite baseball team, 1,000%. That's well documented on this show. I do not like them. I prefer the Yankees over them, but I have to give them credit for what they're doing, man. Their team as a whole is Cy Young, and their offense as a whole is MVP.
Yeah.
And it is really, really difficult to look at what they are doing and have any sort of confidence when Berrios and Kikuchi, and you could even argue quote-unquote struggling Manoah
versus Shane McClanahan.
Exactly. It's tough to predict goodness.
Hey, well, I'll give you a couple seconds to predict, because we do got to shout out today's sponsor of the video. This prediction is brought to you by Betway.
Whoa! Time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. Shout out to Betway. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you to infinity and back.
All right. So what are you thinking?
It's going to be a really tough one,
It's going to be so tough.
It's going to be really
I know. Dude, I'm happy if we get one.
Actually, yes.
I'm happy if we get one because it's our back end of rotation.
And if we get one, then we're the team to stop the winning streak.
Exactly.
And
I
saw a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of people on our TikTok, and I actually agree with them. I wanted Tampa Bay to win today.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted them to win today because then we can own the bragging rights that we stop the win streak.
Yeah.
If we don't stop the win streak,
we're nothing. We're going to be looped in with all these other quote-unquote garbage teams, non-contenders.
Because the argument right now against Tampa Bay is, well, they've been playing garbage teams.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I hear what you're saying, but they've been annihilating them.
I know.
We just lost to one of the garbage teams that they annihilated.
I know. We lost one game for sure, but let's say they come in here and we take 2 or 3, or hell, we even somehow sweep them. I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Right.
I'll be damned if we do. And if we do, or we take 2 or 3, now the conversation goes, well, the Blue Jays just pounded the Rays.
Yeah.
Now we're climbing up the power rankings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is one of those series, and I'll talk about it in the video coming in tomorrow, but this is one of those series where even though it's super early, we're still learning everyone's team. We're not even 2 full weeks into the season yet. This one actually matters because when you look back at the standings come September and when we're vying for the divisions, this could mean something. This could actually mean something when we're vying for positions.
Absolutely.
This series right here. And it's going to be a massive statement regardless of which way it swings.
Yeah, I know.
If Tampa Bay walks into the Rogers Center and dummies the Toronto Blue Jays, they're winning the World Series. That's the conversation now.
Right.
If
They're
Toronto Blue Jays though, destroy this 13-0 juggernaut team, what can't we do?
I know.
What can't we do, right?
That's
so this
the
is
narrative.
a big series. It's a big one.
That's the narrative, guys. So you guys got to stay tuned. This Sunday, guys, we're going to be going live to watch the final game, and I hope that we've already taken one, maybe with Cy Young Kikuchi.
I really hope so, yeah.
So that Sunday game is going to be pretty darn hyped, because you already know that, the entire baseball world will be looking at this series, especially if the Blue Jays start taking some games.
Agreed.
Because they got to see, can they dethrone them? Can they knock them down?
Yeah.
I hope we do, guys.
100%, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about everything that we talked about in today's episode. This last series and the series coming up, I want to know. And stay tuned tomorrow. We've got a bunch of good videos coming out. One solo video by me, and then we're going to be going live, kind of breaking through everything right before that first game for Tampa Bay. So much stuff coming out, folks.
Yeah, guys, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and $3 become a Patreon, and as well, $3 a month to become a YouTube member. Shout out to all of y'all guys for supporting us, and thank you so much for watching.
And
Go Jays, go! We lost!
Okay.
We're all good.
Okay.
We're gonna make it.
Yeah.